8.
You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, everybody. The post-Comic-Con Monday.
Yes, it is.
The most important show of the year for us.
I wouldn't go that far.
and the post Deadpool Wolverine Monday, right? So there's another thing.
That's true.
Do we have a comic book to give away if somebody guesses how many times they've seen this movie?
We have a comic book to give away.
What's the point?
The problem with that is we have duplicates.
Yeah.
People guess the same number, and then it's kind of hard to determine. But you had Blade on last Monday, correct?
You did have Blade on last Monday.
Yep.
Which is ironic.
Oh, whoa. Are we going to talk about?
Dude, it's all over the news.
I was going to say it's all over the news.
I don't know if we need to be spoiling anything, but
Stuff, right?
I don't know.
Spoilers. Spoiler free, folks. I've seen it too, but spoiler free.
We're not going to spoil anything because Comcast is killing us.
Jay?
You look good
Jay,
right
you there?
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're here.
so I blanked out for a second.
Yeah, we sort of skipped or whatever.
So, all right.
Yeah, everybody in the chat
saying
saying no spoilers, and I think you just kind of gave one away, but don't worry, y'all, he's lying.
Dude, if you look at Facebook or you look at Yahoo, any kind of news
people are upset because a lot of spoilers are out, but
by Ryan Reynolds.
But
I mean, he was the number one.
Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, to say they're living their best lives is an understatement.
Yeah.
The hype, all the stuff they've been doing for this movie, Hugh Jackman recreated the Wolverine meme where he's on the bed and he's looking at a picture. And the picture says number one movie in the world.
I may, though. This one I may go to the theaters to watch. But so the question is, was there anything that anybody felt was a surprise? I mean, I think that everybody's, I did not see it. I think everyone's overwhelming impression was it's good, in that sense. But was anything that you saw a huge surprise or kind of had a hint?
There was one thing I saw that pleasantly surprised me.
Okay, fair enough.
And I think Ryan Reynolds actually talked about it this morning because he posted. I don't think it's any spoilers we've seen in the previews. It's like a multiverse thing, right? It's Marvel. That's what they do. It's a multiverse.
All right. So let's talk about the big news is that Robert Downey Jr. is going to come back as Dr. Doom.
Do you know what the best part of that is? So many people are angry. Nothing makes me happier than when big news makes people angry.
I'm angry.
I have to admit, that caught me by surprise. Rob?
Yeah, I'm angry. I don't like it. I think it's a terrible idea. It reeks of desperation to me from the MCU. Bringing back the Russo brothers and Robert Downey Jr., they have no path forward. Victor and Tony are very different characters.
Complain to Jonathan Majors. It's all his fault. We were all set and ready to go. Jonathan Majors decided, I'm going to go down this road.
Wow.
Well, you know what?
Come back and toss him up under the bus.
Not to mention, if I'm Marvel, I'm pretty PO'd. Because you know what? And of course he did it very tongue-in-cheek, but after Oppenheimer, Robert Downey Jr. was trashing Marvel movies and sort of jumping on that side of people I want to vanish in the negative zone, where they claim that superhero movies are bad and, some 90-year-old pop-pop can't get his film financed because I want to see Guardians of the Galaxy 8. I don't care, pop-pop. I don't care. But at that point, they were already talking about Robert Downey Jr. about becoming. So when people were shocked that, I can't believe he's suddenly trashing Marvel. That was your first hint that something was up.
I have to admit, when he won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, okay, I really thought his days of, he doesn't need the money, all right. I really thought his days with the MCU were really, really over.
He doesn't need the money, and then there's Marvel and Disney money. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't care who you are. When someone says, I'll pay you $50 million to put on this goofy ass Dr. Doom mask, that's $50 million.
Well, I heard.
So I suddenly do it. This is a guy that did like Charlie Chaplin and Sherlock
I read
Holmes.
the article. He doesn't even need to necessarily don the costume, because Doom will be behind the mask. They're talking voiceover.
It's a lot of voiceover, maybe a few things or whatever.
What's up, Robbie? What's up, guys?
And people who've seen Deadpool will know a little bit what I'm talking about. They're talking about scenes with Chris Evans as Captain America in future movies. Well, yes and no. You know what I mean? You might see a Captain America Chris Evans in the movie, but that doesn't mean Chris Evans is Captain America in the movie, right? And I think people who watch Loki also know what I'm talking about. So, or What If? Yeah, sure, those people are there, but
I have to say, I was surprised. I was surprised. I thought, after he cut his teeth, got an Academy Award, that he was done with that. He obviously banked enough money. I really didn't see him come back.
On a personal note, Robert Downey Jr. probably looks and thinks this: my life was in the gutter until they let me play Iron Man. I was in the gutter. Now we're on the other side of the mirror. Creatively, Marvel, the popular belief is Marvel has hit the skids. See, I would keep plowing straight forward and give people endless multiverse stuff to just kind of teach them a lesson, but it's not my zillions of dollars. So they're trying to gear shift a little bit. And so now Robert Downey Jr. is in a position to come to the rescue, along with Ryan Reynolds. He says it all the time. I didn't know if I was going to be Deadpool again. Hugh Jackman said I'm all done being Wolverine. But they see the Marvel Universe, which essentially really helped those guys get big paydays. Because I guarantee you, the proposal did not put like 9 figures in Ryan Reynolds' pocket. The proposal did not let him buy Aviator Gin and Mint Mobile. That's Marvel money. So now they're in a position to sort of help Marvel out. Hey, look, guys, we're stuck. And you've all seen the previews, so this is no spoiler. I'm Marvel Jesus, Deadpool says. You've seen the previews. To a certain extent, yeah. Although the real Marvel Jesus is Robert Downey Jr.
All right, so let's say this, okay, without spoilers. All right. So obviously the new Deadpool movie is a success. People love it. It should hit the $1 billion mark. So the question
easily, right? It's already at like 400 million internationally, right? It's I think right now it's the 8th highest opening of all time. It's gonna make that money super quick.
We call that the Robbie Bills number when it's a big.
I told y'all this movie's gonna be $1 billion. Maybe it'd be $1.5 billion, y'all.
So
is what it's gonna be.
Question,
Robbie called it. That's all I need to know.
So here becomes a question: Can they recapture this lightning in the bottle? Meaning that one of the magical things about Deadpool is its irreverent nature, and this is not a spoiler. It has more or less and we all suspected it would be like this. It was to kind of tie up or close up the Sony Marvel universe, right?
It'll be a different lightning in a different bottle.
But can you do that? Because, I mean, one of the things is, I, again, have not seen the movie. I'm sure there are off-the-cuff jokes about the obvious things, kind of just...
Not at all, none.
That's not... You are a bad liar, sir. So the question becomes, how often can you do that before it gets stale?
Well, how often has Disney made kid features and animated stuff?
True.
It's almost 100 years.
True. But there was definitely a downfall in the 70s.
Well, and Marvel's had that too, except everything's much more compressed now because we live in an instant world. Okay. When we grew up, I put it this way, we grew up in an impulse speed world. We're now in a warp factor world. The speed is much faster. So I guess Marvel just came out of 2 years of decline, we'll say. Right. I don't agree with it, but let's just say Marvel's been 2 to 3 years of decline. Especially if you mark Endgame as here's Endgame, and this is essentially the highest point a superhero movie can get. 10 years of Easter eggs, we get to Avengers Assemble.
So my question is this, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say. I'm interested to hear Robbie's opinion. I'm interested to hear everybody's opinion on this one. So do we see this success as a reboot of, or they're back on track, or is it a one-time anomaly?
I say it's an anomaly because this is kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, right? Where we knew that movie would do well, and it did. It didn't do as well as this movie's doing, but this is not a reflection on the MCU. This is the third Deadpool movie, and it's bringing Hugh Jackman back, right? So this is something that's been built up for over 20 years, right? Like, people are ready for this movie. They want to see Hugh Jackman in that costume. They want to see him be more of a comic book accurate Wolverine. And there's a lot of comic book accuracies in this movie, and some of them for maximum humorous effect, right? But this is not telling me anything about that Thunderbolts is going to be a good movie. It's not telling me anything about the new Captain America movie being good. I still feel like they're a little directionless. I feel like they're relying on the name of Robert Downey Jr., right? I'm a big Victor Von Doom fan. Like, I'm a huge fan of Dr. Doom. He's like one of my favorite fictional characters ever. Right? Yeah, he's great. But like, and even if this is like a Doom variant, or there's going to be another Doom, like we had John Krasinski play Reed, and now they got Pedro Pascal as the actual Reed, this kind of stuff. All of that, I was talking about this last night on my show, and I was ranting about this, right? Because I think it's a dishonor and a disservice to the character and to the fans of that character, because I like Robert Downey Jr. a lot, okay? And I'm not saying that he can't play Victor Von Doom, but everybody knows that he's Tony Stark. So I think at best, with his interpretation, what we're going to get is an evil Tony Stark. But that's not Doom. Doom and Tony, yeah, Victor and Tony got a lot of similarities, but they're not the same type character. And I don't think you're going to get the audience to really disassociate him from Tony. So it's a weird choice. It may just be like a cameo in a movie or two. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even know what it is. I got an open mind. I hope to see it. But the Deadpool and Wolverine success, that has nothing to do with the MCU. It has everything to do with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds and just the momentum that was already established from Deadpool 1 and 2. These three movies are one of the best movie trilogies out there. I loved Deadpool and the Wolverine, and I'm not really a Deadpool fan super much, right? But I loved the movie. I thought it was super fun. It was great. It threw a lot of criticisms at the MCU, and I don't think they've learned their lesson. So I don't know. Me personally, I don't think that this is telling us everything's okay with the MCU. Next year's going to tell us a lot when we get Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and Captain America. That's going to tell us more about where we're going with the MCU. This Deadpool movie is more of a send-off to all of the pre-MCU Marvel movies, in a way.
I somewhat agree with what Robbie said, or I guess I agree with part of what Robbie said. A big part of this is Deadpool and Wolverine entering the MCU. So to say that the MCU plays no part in this, I don't know if that's completely correct. The MCU is the end-all and be-all of all these movies for Marvel characters. Sony can keep making terrible versions of Spider-Man and Venom. Knock yourself out, man. Do Morbius 6. Have fun. Spend your money. But as far as the vast majority of the Marvel Universe, it's the MCU. This is, for sure, what Robbie said. This is a send-off for Fox, both literally and figuratively, creatively. They let you know that Fox is done. And, however, this is sort of almost like Wayward Sons coming home type of thing. Hugh Jackman has wanted to be in the MCU for at least a decade. He very much wanted to be in Avengers Endgame. He wanted that. And it just wasn't going to happen, which is one of the reasons why the guy said, well, I'm kind of done. I mean, he basically admitted it. He's like, once I saw the direction they were going and Wolverine wasn't included, I decided it was time for me to move on. Not to mention, the guy's 40. You know what I mean? He's not going to run around shirtless or whatever. So there's more to it than just that. Ryan Reynolds, good-looking dude, absolutely. Funny, talented. The thing people do not give Ryan Reynolds enough credit for is savvy and vision.
I'll give him that.
He's going to
Been
go
very
from
successful as a
being
businessman.
the clown character to sitting at the big boy table of the MCU, which means he gets a seat at Disney. MCU is an enormous part of this project. He's going to use the remains of Fox to hop, skip, and jump right over to a player where he's going to be Deadpool. And that guy will probably earn another 8 or 9 figures that way.
So how much of this do we feel like is a result of the R rating as well?
Well, I think
that is a heavy departure from where
after
the MCU
Multiverse of
was.
Madness, I think we've all seen there could actually be an R-rated Marvel. Multiverse of Madness is essentially a horror movie. Right? I think we talked about this even last year. You can have problems with the movie. You don't like Doctor Strange. Okay, whatever. I wouldn't even get into that. That's your opinion. But I don't think there's a case to be made that that's not at least 75% horror movie. Maybe the first half hour of the movie is a superhero movie. And then we take a hard right turn onto Shudder and Screambox. And we stay there for the rest of that movie, even through the credit scenes. Right? It's a scary movie. So that kind of is the indicative that we can do R-rated stuff. And now this is, it's going to be raining cash until Labor Day with this movie. And then it'll be raining cash more and more, and Christmas will come, and everybody will need Deadpool t-shirts. This will cruise right into 2025 for them. So I would hope that with the Russo brothers returning, that they realize, hey, look, maybe we should try to get back to a little bit of where we were 5, 6, 7 years ago. Like build towards something, put something together.
See, I feel that, John, and I do see like you gotta trust creators, right? So the Russo brothers are responsible for some of the best MCU films out there. Robert Downey Jr. obviously is awesome, but the thing that really made the MCU pop was also the fact that they had a plan. Like there was a theme, there was a story that was being drugged through. We still don't have that.
No, we absolutely don't. As far as I can tell.
And in their defense, the whole Kang thing kind of threw it sideways.
And we're back to Jonathan Majors ruining the show. Now, you know what? Whatever that guy's story is, man, I hope he comes out on the right side of it, man. I don't wish bad on anybody.
I mean, to give them, I don't want to say credit, but to give them kind of a little bit of leeway. That was, maybe they had a storyline that they had ready to go, but the whole Jonathan Majors thing threw that sideways. And, Damage Control.
Clearly, and maybe
trying to come up with different angles.
Maybe this is a little bit of a spoiler. But clearly, Marvel isn't ready to let go of the Time Variance Authority, which is essentially the script device for the multiverse, right? I don't think that's an outrageous statement to say. The Fantastic Four is going to be a period piece. So, it's going to be set in the 1960s.
Which we all agreed that was probably the right move.
It's a great way to hopefully, let's not have a multiverse story. Let's just have an Earth 616 story set after Captain America, the First Avenger, and before, you know what I mean? Like Captain Marvel would be the next thing. Captain Marvel's the 90s, right? And so you've got Captain America in the 40s, Captain Marvel in the 80s. You've got this whole sort of 40-year period to play with. You drop the Fantastic Four right there in the 1960s. That's going to work out well. They have to, at this point, do Thunderbolts. I'm sorry, not Thunderbolts. They have to do Captain America 4. They're committed. I don't know what it costs to get Han Solo on the set, but my guess is it's a lot of money.
Rob.
So when you spend that kind of money, my guess is this movie is getting made and they're just reshooting scenes. It's almost like doing a Rubik's Cube drunk. Eventually, if I take enough shots or I do enough twists, I'll get this thing right. How many times have they reshot various scenes? Anthony Mackie said he shoots scenes, he does something else. He reshoots scenes, he does something else. He said that as part of his press junket for, what's the thing he does on Peacock? the kind of post-apocalyptic sci-fi.
Yeah, I
Twisted Metal.
watched that.
Twisted Metal, yeah.
Twisted Metal.
I actually like that.
He was doing whatchamacallit. He was doing a promo for that, and of course, you know, when you're in the MCU, you're going to get this question. I don't care what you do. And basically, he said, "I'm doing stuff, and I'm doing reshoots. In some cases, he's reshot scenes 4 or 5 times."
All right, hold that thought. We're going to get back to it. Let's get giveaway. Tonight's giveaway is Fantastic Four number 318. All right, so let's make the hashtag, ironically, Doom. Let's make the hashtag EXP Deadpool, all lowercase. So obviously we have some more Deadpool Wolverine cover sketches tonight, since it is primo on our mind. All right, so let me get through the grab bags and the region
I'll
set.
tell you one last thing before somebody bring it up, and then we'll move on. Marvel right now is in this. They've got a little bit of grace. They got a little bit of breathing room, right? Mm-hmm. People are like, you know what? Maybe I see it in the comments. Maybe it wasn't so bad. You know, maybe they can bounce back. So they have a little bit of a breather. You know who they really need to make sure is in those future plans? One of the people, he's a well-known actor that's really well-liked, and he does a great job with his character. And that's Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. I don't know how you involve Paul Rudd in Ant-Man. I'm not saying to do another Ant-Man movie necessarily, but people, you know, in the focus group, he tests really well.
Right.
People love Paul Rudd. Let's try to have Paul Rudd, possibly even Chris Pratt. People love Star-Lord. Let's maybe try to involve, instead of less the 19th different version of Loki we've seen, right? And Loki's another character. See if we can get Tom Hiddleston and Chris Pratt and Paul Rudd involved in things moving forward. So people, it's like when you put Tom Hanks in a movie. I don't know if I'm going to like this or not, but it's Tom Hanks, so I'm going to watch it.
You know what? I think that's kind of been a problem, but we'll get back to it. All right, real quick, let's get through the 10-pack and the grab bags. All right, so as always, Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, $3.99 cover price or higher. And as always, we got it for $5 to the group. All right, then we have the DF grab bag 10-pack. $1 comic, so we've got the 10-pack for $10. Marvel, DC, and Indie. Then we have the DF grab bag 15-pack, and we got that for $15. Hey, Paige Turning, what's going on, buddy? All right. And then, of course, as always, we have the X-Men random 20-pack grab bag. 20 random X-Men titles from 1990s with a chance of 1980s. And 2000s books are 9.0 or better, and we get that for $20. And as always, your best deal is the grab bag combo. All four the grab bags and reader set, and we've got that for $20. I know a whole bunch of you guys have jumped in. We will do requests if we can. Just to keep in mind, anything that includes DC titles, we cannot do it to $5. But if you request, we can try to put one together. Of course, we got to charge a cover, but we'll do what we can to help you out. All right. So then, of course, as always, we have...
Is our thing at 6:25?
6:24. So we're minus 1 minute. All right. So, and as always, we have the DF mystery box. 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 Virgin, 1 signed, 1 exclusive cover, and 10 back issues. $200 minimum retail value. And we've got it for $100. And Robbie Roach, yeah, I know. We'll talk about it when we get back. Jay, take us out to our 6:24 break that we are minus 1 minute on.
Order Battle Quest comics at your local comic shop today.
Download our app on Google Play and the App Store. It's so simple, even my mommy can use it. Did you know that Arthur, King of the Britons, in Monty Python and the Holy Grail was played by a famous Graham? Check out another famous Graham by following our Instagram.
All right, we're back.
We are back.
We're already talking about New York Comic Con. So,
We are talking
is
about
anybody in the group? Did anybody in the group go to San Diego? If you did, let us know and tell us how it
They
was.
think they're bashing Paul Rudd. I don't even want to know people that don't like Paul Rudd.
So I
That's
do.
like trashing Tom Hanks. What is wrong with you?
I do want to respond to Robbie Roach. Thank you, Robbie Roach. One of the few people that have followed the soft on the things. Yeah, the last tournament wasn't great. The last day, they just played with a little less energy. On Facebook, you can find it. It was a tough last day. Our shortstop started crying as soon as the last out was recorded. We've been together with a lot of these girls for 3 seasons. So it was a little hard to see 3 years, actually, 2 seasons a year. It was kind of hard to say goodbye. This last week, I realized I've missed it more than I thought I would. But it was kind of time. They're at that age. We would have had to move up to 16s and be what they call a showcase team. A lot more work. My daughter's getting married. Actually, John's been a big help. I've been talking to John about what to do about the engagement party. So it was kind of hard to say goodbye. But I'll be following these girls. But yeah, that last day, we just kind of played without any kind of pizzazz. I think everybody was seeing, a little bit concerned about the impending end of all this. But it did make me feel kind of good. It's never good to see someone crying. But the fact that, because it's a very strange thing in youth sports today, man, that you have a team. I don't know if it's an overall thing inside today. There is a me, a sense of entitlement. And a lot of teams are like that. People jump teams, left and right. And for them to be there and to be a real team, because my daughter did not allow cliques. She did not allow bullying. She had been on a few teams where that occurred. So, one of the very first things she said to me, if we're going to coach, that none of that is, you don't all have to be best friends, but you do have to get along as a team, because how you act off the field when we're not playing will reflect on how you act and how you perform when we are on the field. So I do want to say that, and thanks, Robbie, for pointing that out, asking about it. But anyway, I do want to talk more about this throughout the show, where we think Marvel's going, what we think the implications of Deadpool is, and obviously Fantastic Four. I got to admit, a lot of things we talk about before finally the movie's coming out has been kind of come true. One thing saying that I know John said it, I think Robbie said it too. It has to be a period piece. You can't do it in modern day, because if you do FF in the modern day, it's not going to work. I mean, we've seen that. They've done it multiple times in modern day. So, not including Corman. But taking place in the 60s, I think, is the right way to go. So, and that apparently is coming true. So, maybe we all got a better handle on this than we thought. All right, so let's do cover sketches. All right, so everything has kind of a lean towards obviously a new Deadpool movie, except this is kind of, but this is Jessica Court, and my God, wait until you see this one. X-Men #1 with Mystique cover sketch by Jessica Court. Suggested retail of $129.99, and we've got tonight for $75.
And this plays a little bit into what someone said in the chat.
What's that?
Where does the MCU go from here? We've now got Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
So the next thing it should be building to is the X-Men, the rise of mutants.
Right.
Essentially, now you have to recast all these roles. I would think.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get, I mean, I love him, but I don't think at 90, Patrick Stewart wants to be Professor X. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, John, how many last times has Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, how many last times have they done this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and today I saw the news where Kevin Feige said no plans to recast Wolverine anytime soon. And it's kind of one of the bits in the movie, but it's like, they're going to make this dude play Wolverine until he's 83, bruh. Like
90. That might be the best part of that movie. You're going to be doing this till you're 90.
All right, next up, we got Captain Britain collage cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariana Nicieza.
Oh, that's really cool. I like that a lot.
Cool.
Wow.
Suggested retail of $149.99, and we've got it for $85.
That might be one of the best ones I've seen from this sort of this collage collection. Exactly, Thomas R. Bishop, until he's 90.
It's going to happen. It's literally happening right now. This is a great cover. That looks sharp.
I mean, that's very cool. I don't know if there's any Captain or Union Jack fans or whatever, but that's about as good a cover as you're ever going to get with this character.
All right. So the next up, we got Hunt for Wolverine #1 with Wolverine cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariana Nicieza. Suggested retail of $129.99, and we've got this one for $75 tonight.
This is a great cover. I really like this one. That's a good, sharp Wolverine image.
All right. So then we've got Batman vs. Bane and Joker, Hulk #181 homage by Eric Negron, who I'm really loving his stuff these days.
Wow.
Suggested retail of $149.99, and we've got this one for $85.
Peace has made you weak. Victory has defeated you.
I almost feel like they're trying to do almost like some kind of stylized, like almost a Jim Aparo approach or something. I mean, I like this a lot.
Yeah, right. a little Herb Trimpe thrown in there too, obviously, right? With the Hulk 181, right?
All right, then this is one of my favorites. Wolverine and Deadpool cover sketch by Dan Neidlinger. Suggested retail of $149.99, and we've got it for $85.
This absolutely has, like the Image 90s vibe. I also think the Wolverine had a little bit of John Byrne face.
Bro, look at them fins, though. What? Those are like 2 feet long fins. Look at that. That's so nice.
Who drew the fins? Kelly Jones drew the fins.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Remember his Batman had fin, like his bat ears were like this? Goodness.
Batman's ears were goalposts when Kelly Jones, and I think I like Kelly Jones' work. I'm not bashing, but there's stylistic, and then there's, bro, maybe just one espresso less in the morning.
This is Wolverine trying to overcompensate for his height. Is what this is.
And as a little extra, you got Spidey in the UPC box.
Oh yeah, I see that.
This is very cool, man.
All right, next up, we've got Hunt for Wolverine #1 with Wolverine cover sketch by Tony Scott. This has kind of an X-Men 97, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we're kind of trying to do like the X-Men 97 thing here, right?
So suggested retail of $129.99, and we've got tonight for $75. All right, so.
Speaking of X-Men 97, we're talking about Wolverine and the X-Men. We had this kind of ongoing conversation in my comics chat about the MCU and where they're going next. And somebody brought up the point where they should lean into the fact that the other characters are old and gone, and the next level, the next sort of logical step in the MCU is the rise of the mutants. You know, Cap is 80. You know what I mean? Somebody said something about Ant-Man. It's okay. Like, we've already established that if you use the pin particles too much, it damages your health.
Right.
We've already established that, right? There's no reason why Scott Lang can't be in the movie. Right? And he just decides, look, you know, I have a kid. I'm sort of trying to move on with my life. I'm sort of done being, you know, the incredible 60-foot man. And I think all those things would very much lead into kind of like an ascendancy of mutants. What world, in a post-Endgame world, what was left for us? Well, we saw the snap was not done. It's kind of weird and crazy or whatever. This is a great point, really, to kind of start introducing mutants, people wanting to legislate powers. That I think they're at a point, if you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier and you kind of look at the political climate, they're right there where they need to be for like the Robert Kelly Registration Act type story.
Right. All right, so let's do the sign books. Web of Spider-Man #1, signed by Steve Fox. Signed in silver, just a retail of $69.99. We have tonight for $29.99.
I like that the Silver Signature series, and I like that it almost sort of blends in with the webbing.
Yeah, it does. And this is just this is a great cover. Greg Capullo really outdid himself on this one.
Absolutely, man. And what is this? One of the numbers? Is this like one of?
I don't know actually.
My guess is this is going to be, if it's Silver Signatures, that means it's one of 50 or one of 75 or something like that. Collecting dude, if you're in the chat, let us know, because I think sometimes we gloss over that, and people probably want to know if something is one of 50 or you know.
So see it up front. 7 of 25. There you go.
Thank you.
All right. So next up, we got Feral #1 horror movie variant, signed by Tony Weeks. Suggested retail of $39.99, and we've got tonight for $29.99.
When people wonder who this cover is for, I'll tell you who this cover is for. This cover is me and Robbie going back and forth like this because there's one copy at the store and there's 2 horror fans. And we're like, I'll flip you for it. So, yeah, I've heard people saying these variants don't really have, you know, an audience per se. Yeah, they do. It's just especially the horror homage ones that Tony's been doing for Stray Dogs and for Feral. And there was an incentive on this one that was, I think it was a 1 in 50, but it was a Day of the Dead homage. And I had people at my shop being like, "Yo, do you got that?" And I was like, "Nah, I bought that. That was for me. Sorry." Benefits of being the manager. I got that one. So I've said this a couple times in comics chats or whatever. I said, not to sound like a jerk, I said, but I'm actually in the office at Dynamite. Let me tell you for a fact, the horror variants and some of these other things, there's a market there. There's an audience there. There's an audience for cosplayer covers. Yeah, sure, it might not be massive. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not saying that, you know,
right.
But there's absolutely an audience for this. And I'll tell you when the audience really appears. 3 or 4 years from now, they bomb in and they're like, "Oh, how did I miss this?" And it's, you know, it's some Romero fan. And they're just like, "What? Well, now it's $80.
All right. So next up, we got Incredible Hulk Last Call #1, signed by Peter David. Suggested retail of $29.99. Got tonight for $15.
Oh, Triple B, I saw that. The Exorcist variant. The Exorcist variant is very cool. If somebody wants to Google the picture or something, it's really neat. It's really neat.
All right, let's do our best offer of the night. All right, here we go. Batwoman #1 blank variant, signed by James Tinian IV and remarked by Ken Hazer with a Batwoman sketch. Obviously not a blank variant. All right, so suggested retail $99.99. We're making this best offer starting at $15. So Let's see if anybody wants this. Starting.
Yeah, that's a great deal because you get the actual authentic remark from our friend Ken Hazer, and you get James Tynan's signature. That's a sweet deal.
All right, and I'm gonna do the last few signed books before we gotta go to break. All right, Mike Aspill's in for 15. Got you, Mike. All right, see, so Mike is in at 15. Yeah, does everybody have too good a time this weekend? All right, I'm gonna get the other books. This is gonna be open if anybody wants to do it, and then, all right, then we got Space Ghost #1, signed in silver by David Pepose. It's just at retail $69.99, and we've got it tonight at $30.
Space Ghost has just been selling gangbusters at my shop. Like it's not stopping. It's not letting up. Like people are loving this book, loving it.
All right, then we have Captain America White #1, Ultra Limited Gold Signature Series, signed by Jeff Loeb. It's just at retail $89.99, and we've got it for $40 tonight. And then next we have Alpha Flight #1, X-Men #100 Homage variant, signed by Dan Jurgens. It's just a retail of $49.99, and we've got it for $25. All right, then we've got Silver Surfer, last signed book of the night.
It has a little bit of Neil Adams energy, and I kind of like that cover.
Silver Surfer #1, signed by Greg Pak, and we've got this one is show special at $10.
Oh, that's totally worth it because this is also just a really great comic. Greg Pak did a great job here, basically putting up Silver Surfer against the High Evolutionary, who I think is one of the most underappreciated Marvel villains, and they really did him justice, in my opinion, in Guardians 3.
All right, got your page turning. I got you down for the alt, buddy. All right, and then let's see. Well, about a minute, we got to go to the second break, and then when we get back, I guess I'm going to have to pull out the slashing knife. All right, and then we'll do a quick Rex cap, and I'll start slashing. So, all right, you got a page turning.
You're going to pull out the Wolverine claws when we come back and start slashing and slicing and dicing.
As always.
I should have stopped and picked up a mask on the way back for you.
I'm
a baseball cap with big fins.
Did you get the popcorn thing with the big Wolverine mouth, or?
We actually, one of the guys I was with got it for his kid or something.
So,
I can't do those collectible popcorn buckets. Those things are usually like $50 or something. I remember like taking my girlfriend to see Barbie, and she wanted the Barbie car, and I was like, I want that. And they're like, it's $79.99, and I'm like, never mind.
Oh my God,
it was supposed to be cheaper if you were Regal Unlimited, but there's always exceptions.
Yeah,
the Barbie car was an exception. So essentially, I had to buy the car for my goddaughter because she loves Barbie, and I was just like, she's like, oh, but you got this because you're Regal Unlimited, right? I'm like, yeah, sure.
All right, we got to take our second break. Hang out. Rex is going to pull out the Wolverine, as Robbie puts it, the Wolverine claws.
Hashtag snicked.
So hang out. We'll be right back.
You love comic books. You collect comic books. But even if you own a rare, expensive issue, it's still a copy. How would you like to own a piece of comic book history? The actual art pages the comics were made from? Oh no, you say. That's too expensive. Regular people can't afford that stuff. Can they? Nick Ferrucci says yes. Join the founder of Dynamite Entertainment for the original art experience on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. Incredible art at almost unbelievable prices. Does he have some high-dollar pieces for the high rollers? Sure, but Nick always makes sure to find amazing pieces priced for the fledgling collector. You can collect original comic art. The original art experience. Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Part of the experience.
Hey, we're back. All right, so John's walking around. All right, so let's go. Let's start with X-Men #1 with Mystique cover sketch by Jessica Court. Suggested retail of $129.99. We've got it for $75. I'll do this for $65.
This is the hottest one we've got tonight, I think. I think Jessica Court's been doing amazing work. This feels like it's based on some of the Joseph Michael Linsner stuff from the Brian K. Vaughan series in the early 2000s. Such a sharp and sexy image. Perfect for any X fan out there. It's a one-of-a-kind object, y'all. And you just slash the price? Come on, get out of here.
All right, so next up, we got Captain Britain collage cover sketch by Joe Delbiato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $149.99. We have it at $85. I'm going to make this one $50. This is going to be our show special.
$50, mate. You're crazy. Everybody's got a great British friend that they want to get this for right now.
Oh, man.
Sorry. I'm Captain Britain.
It wasn't bad, but it was.
Hey, Henry Cavill could play Captain Britain. That's a good idea, right? Let's do that.
All right. Next up, we have Hunt for Wolverine #1 with Wolverine cover sketch by Joe Delbiato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $129.99. We've got it for $75. Okay, Dwayne's a pain 50.
What's Henry Cavill doing under the mask?
I'll do this one for $60.
$60 for this Wolverine sketch? It's ridiculous. It's bloody ridiculous.
Beady bam, you're just slashing prices, aren't you?
Now he's in love with the British accent.
I'm Henry Cavill. I'm Captain Britain. I'm sorry.
I was in the publisher's office thanking him for my grocery list of things that I wanted from Dynamite in the upcoming year.
Oh, is he back? Did he make it back from San Diego?
Yeah, he popped into the office.
That man ate steak 5 nights in a row. Somebody needs to check on him, make sure that everything's, that he's regular.
You would expect Nick is a little tired. You guys have been following the Comic-Con news, like more than a dozen announcements of what, and we'll talk about it.
A giant week of announcements for y'all in particular, like some really things that me and you, John, I think have made happen here. By just saying that we need Herculoids, we need Captain Planet. We've said that kind of stuff. So,
in addition to thanking Nick, you should absolutely be thanking Robbie and I.
We're just giving you these ideas for free.
We're
You
just
got to start
throwing
coming up with some new
them
ones,
out there,
man.
Once a year, Robbie and I-
Wacky races. Wacky races. There you go. That's the next one. Let's do that.
Once
All right.
Robbie and I will have a summit at about the halfway point in the year. We'll put together our list and kind of give it to Nick and say, "Hey, look, man, you want to make this happen because Robbie and I think it would be great."
These are our requests. So here you go. We like staple them, like we'll like nail them to the door of Dynamite, right? Like
Oh my God. Martin Luther,
George
like,
Wayne.
Martin Luther, yeah.
All right. So
yes,
Batman.
Preston, Thundar is on the way. There's a few things we'll talk about throughout the show, but one of the big ones is Thundar the Barbarian is coming. Gail Simone is coming back to write James Bond. There's some pretty cool stuff in the next 12 months. That
Ben 10, that was a big announcement too. I know a lot of people excited about that one.
Generation of people, Ben 10 is their jam, and yes, Ben 10 will be there, and Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
All right.
More the Hanna-Barbera-ing of Dynamite makes me very happy.
So next up, we got Batman vs. Bane and Joker, Hulk number 181, homage by Eric Negron. It's just a retail $149.99. We have it at 85. I'll make this 65.
Oh, you think the darkness is your ally?
In the new season of this show, we're going to have to start doing voices.
I'm not doing it. All right. So then we've got Wolverine Deadpool, cover sketch by Dan Nylinger. It's just a retail $149.99. We have it at 85. I'll do this for 65.
Not only is this probably a great deal for the night, considering where we are right now, but I would love to get a hold of Dan and say, "Hey, look, man, I'm seeing 3 or 4 different influences here. Was it intentional? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I see a John Byrne face on Wolverine. Is that just what he is that what he wanted, or was
there's a little McFarlane in there too, right? There's a little McFarlane.
Yeah.
Very 90s. You're right. When you pointed that out. You're spot on.
This is very much like in these characters done in, like, I like I said, I'm not the hugest Wolverine or Deadpool fan, but this is sort of at $65. This is probably something that you would want.
All right. The next up, we got Hunt for Wolverine number 1 with Wolverine cover sketch by Tony Scott. It's just a retail of $129.99. We have for 75. I'll lower this to 55.
To see Todd by Todd. Corey, you're not wrong. There's sort of, there's a reason that decades have styles, right?
Yeah.
And I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know if anybody's style is more 90s than Todd McFarlane.
I mean, that's interesting. So, like, who's the quintessential artist of each decade? The 60s, obviously Kirby, right?
Yeah, Kirby.
The 70s, what? Probably Neil Adams, right?
Neil Adams,
the 80s, John Byrne. And then the 90s might actually go more towards, I think, Jim Lee. But it's any of those Image guys, really, like Lee and McFarlane in particular.
You can make a case for Jim Lee. A case could be made for Todd McFarlane. And even though we kind of, dunk on the guy a little bit humorously, a case could be made for Rob Liefeld.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Can I tell y'all something about Rob Liefeld real quick? So I'm a part of his Facebook group, right? And I like to get in there and just see what people are posting, and I make posts. Like, I posted all my Thundercats books when I picked them up. His covers were great. But like, somebody had posted up and saying, "Hey guys, please don't spoil Deadpool and Wolverine for me. I'm not going to be able to see it till it drops on Disney Plus. Times have been hard, and I just can't afford to get out to the movies." Rob Liefeld was like, "Dude, send me your information. I'm going to buy you a ticket." That's awesome. That's super cool, right?
I was just going to tell you, get me that guy's information, and I will email him a ticket. I mean, literally, right before you said that, I was going to be like, nobody should not be able to see this movie in the community because times are hard. I get times are hard. I'm not bashing that. I'm just saying that if a guy like me is going to see the movie multiple times in a single day on multiple days, I'm happy to buy someone like that a ticket.
All right. So next up, we got
very cool.
Web of Spider-Man number 1 signed by Steve Fox. We had it at $29.99. I'm going to lower that to $20.
Jay, that's a great point. Jay, that's an absolute great point.
Lyle.
He's Canadian. I'll poke fun at him.
All right, so then we got
There's
Feral
some
number
Canadian
one.
jokes in Deadpool and Wolverine too, so that's fun.
Yeah, they gotta have some fun with that.
Who's Canadian? Rob Liefeld's not Canadian though. Todd McFarlane is.
Todd
But Rob
McFarlane-
Liefeld's like straight from like Southern California, right? Like, I mean, that the
Mike.
voice and everything.
Oh yeah, he's
All right.
where's Jim Lee from? Another world better than this one.
Mike
All right,
wants
so-
the web of Spider-Man.
Yeah, I got that.
You got
Thanks,
that?
man. All right, Feral number one, horror movie variant signed by Tony Fleeks. We had it $29.99. I'll lower that to $20.
Oh man, there's some horror fans should absolutely grab this because that's
Yeah, it's a sellout issue. It's a Dawn of the Dead homage, one of the greatest, is maybe the best zombie film of all time, the most recognizable. Me personally, I like Day of the Dead a smidgen better. At their latest issue, it was the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead they homaged, which I really liked.
All right. Then we got Space Ghost number one, signed in silver by David Pepose. We had it 30. I'll make that 25. Man, everybody's sleeping out there.
well, they're probably all burned out from spending all their money at the movie theater and people at the Comic-Con.
Could be.
What'll happen is a month from now we'll get messages. Hey, do you have a signed Space Ghost book? Well, we did last month. Where were you?
All right. So then we've got Captain America, White. Oh no, you know what? Wait a minute. Batwoman number one, signed by James Tynion IV, and remarked by Ken Hazer, and signed by Ken Hazer with a Batwoman sketch.
Oh,
It is a best offer item. Mike Aspel's the only guy in at $15. So nobody
very cool.
dual signed, remark, great cover, nothing. Mike's gonna get away with a bargain.
You know
That's
what?
for sure.
Next week we offer the Mighty Mouse variants with damaged covers. That's all we got.
Listen to you. All right.
I'm like the only person who remembers Dynamite did Mighty Mouse.
All right. Captain America White number one, ultra limited gold signature series, signed by Jeff Loeb. Suggested retail of $89.99. I had it at $40. I'll do that for $30. No, I know. I'll do that for $20.
Oh, I have this book, and I love the fact that this was like a Frank Robbins energy from the Invaders.
All right,
Yeah,
so,
and Tim
Miguel,
Sale,
you're
the
in
late
for
great
70.
Tim Sale. You know what I'm saying? So
All right. Thank you, Miguel. So Miguel is in at 17.
This was a very cool book, and this is, I think this was the one, because I don't think it was quite as popular as Spider-Man Blue, so this is a little bit harder to find sometimes.
Right.
yeah, they did it a lot later too, right?
Yeah.
Because they did their like color trilogy, and they always wanted to do Captain America White, and then they didn't get to do it till way later. But yeah,
And I-
Spider-Man Blue, Daredevil Yellow, Hulk Gray, and now Captain
And I
America
think-
White.
Yeah, those books, everybody has those in their collection. Every once in a while, I'll be in a comic book store and someone will come across this, and it's almost like they kind of, I wouldn't say they didn't know, but they forgot. Because, everything sort of has its shelf life, and then you move on.
All right. So then we got Alpha Flight
Like,
number
what's the
one.
bump that one to 25?
All right. Gotcha, Mike. You're at 25 in the lead.
Mike wants that Batwoman book.
Seems that way. All right. So then we got Alpha Flight number one, X-Men number 100 homage variant, signed by Dan Jurgens. Suggested retail of $49.99. We have it at $25. I'll lower that to $20.
$20 for a Dan Jurgens signature? I don't know if the room is maybe just a little low energy, but
Feelable.
you shouldn't have to repeat this stuff. It should be like one and done.
All right. So then let's do our two CG 30. Okay.
Oh, Mike and Miguel.
All right. So Miguel's in at 30. Gotcha, Miguel.
It's all Deadpool and Wolverine up in here. No.
I'm surprised those two haven't gone. All right, so we got Flash number 22, lenticular cover, CGC 9.8. Suggested retail of 100, and we have for 75 tonight.
That's a great cover.
Yeah, I hear you there, Mike. So
It's a great cover. It's a great book too. This is part of the button, right? When like Batman finds Dr. Manhattan, or actually the comedian's button with the blood on it and all that. Yeah.
Bean juice.
So don't ask me. I don't do the grading, Marcus. Fair enough,
Who's
Mike.
the CGC submitter in the chat? Isn't that Collecting Dude?
Well, see, the problem is when the CGC handler gets the metal covers, they probably put a big thumbprint on it or something, you know?
Hey, is this metal? Oh, don't do that.
All right, so Mike's up to 35. Gotcha, Mike.
That Batwoman cover with 2 signatures, and someone is going to get that book at, someone's going to get that book at a nice price.
All right, so then we have Spider-Boy number 1, CGC 9.8. Suggested retail of 100. We've got it tonight for 75.
Spider-Boy's been a way better book than I ever thought it would be. Like, I have a lot of fun with this book. It's like that classic, like, old school Marvel kind of fun.
Yeah, I think they're
Gotcha,
very much.
Miguel.
I think
$40.
they're very much trying to sort of, they're trying to dip into, because Marvel now tends to be, in a lot of people, everything is super hyper critical, melodramatic, universe shaking. Spider-Boy is they're just kind of telling some fun stories.
Right.
And I guess we're going to get Spider-Girl in, the creator was talking about this today. I can't remember who it was on Twitter. Spider-Girl is issue 12 of this.
Okay. And also, if you don't think that Spider-Boy is not going to be in the next Spider-Verse movie, you're out of your mind.
Absolutely. There will be... Sony will very much... To put it this way, Sony doesn't want to get 20th Century Fox. Right? They want to... And I realize...
They don't want to be the target of Deadpool 4.
I was going to say, they really don't want to be,
So
Deadpool
they bring in Jared Leto for the day, and you're like, oh, no.
page turning monk, you are correct. So CGC lost a $10 million defamation suit. And what does that mean? That means that they're probably going to raise the prices for grading to make that.
Yeah, I was going to say somebody's got to cover that cost. They're not paying that.
So guaranteed a 9.8 at a discount, very close to what it costs you to get your own raw book graded. All right, so let's do.
Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man might have been my favorite name of any book involving Spider-Man. There's always been like a ton of like little riffs on the name. Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man was very cool.
But all right, let's do a full recap and to remind everybody. You know what? We didn't make a hashtag, did we? Did I make a hashtag? I did.
It's EXP Deadpool.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the giveaway of the night, Fantastic Four, number 318. All right, Mike, I got you, bud.
This is good stuff, too. This is from the Steve Englehart run.
Yes.
All right, I got Mike is leading at 45. All right, so this is a giveaway.
Wait a second. Is that Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans on that cover? Look at that. That's interesting.
Like that. All right, so that's a giveaway
You
of the
decide.
night.
It's a choose your own adventure.
Hashtag EXP Deadpool. All right, so as always, we got Dynamite 10-pack reader set. 10 random Dynamite titles, $3.99 cover price or higher. And as always, we got it for $5 to the group. Then we've got the DF Grab Bag 10-pack and dollar comic, Indie, Marvel, DC. And we've got it at dollar comic, $10. Then we've got the DF Grab Bag 15-pack, dollar comic. Same deal, Indie, DC, Marvel titles. And we've got that for $15. And then, of course, we've got the X-Men Random 20-pack grab bag. 20 random X-Men titles from 1990s with a chance of the 80s or 2000s. Books are 9.0 or better. And we've got that for $20. And, of course, the best deal is the grab bag combo. Get all 4. And we'll give it to you for $25. A reminder, we have the DF mystery box. 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 Virgin, 1 Sign, 1 exclusive, 10 back issues. Minimum value of 200. And as always, we've got it for 100.
This has been super popular lately, and everybody that picks one up is very pleased with what they get.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. All right, so then we've got X-Men #1 with Mystique cover sketch by Jessica Court. It's just a retail of $129.99. I have it at 65. We did have it at 75. I lowered it to 65. I can't believe it's still here.
I'm really surprised it's still here because
I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to go down to 60 on this one.
I almost feel like I should text Ron because I don't think he's in the chat.
And if you don't pick it up at 60, there's nothing more I can do there. All right, then we've got...
It's really good work. Wow.
Captain Britain. Thank you, Jay.
I absolutely love this. This might be something if someone doesn't buy, that might disappear from inventory.
It's Captain Britain, mate. It's Captain Britain.
God. Collage cover sketch by Joe Delviato and Mariano Nicieza. Just at retail at $149.99. We had 85. I had it 50. I'll do this for 45 just to get some movement here.
40 quid? You're out your mind.
Yeah.
He's enamored with this.
That's great.
Soon I'm gonna have to for you. Best British accent. All right. So then we've got the Hunt for Wolverine #1 with Wolverine cover sketch by Joe Delviato and Mariano Nicieza. Gotcha, Mike. It's just a retail of $129.99. I had it 75. I lowered it to 60. I'll make that 55.
Marcus thinks Captain Britain talks more like Michael Caine. That's going to be difficult. Listen, Master Bruce, Master Wayne.
I think you and Jack winds up talking more like Michael Caine, especially Michael Caine's character in Austin Powers.
All right. Then
I've always been a big fan of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, personally.
That's a great movie. Oh, and that's the first thing on our list for Nick's wish list next year. We'd like to see Dirty Rotten Scoundrels comic.
Yep, and we want Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the comic book, and we want Armed and Dangerous, the comic book. We want The Great Outdoors, the comic book.
Maybe under a separate imprint.
The John Candy imprint, right?
Oh my God.
All right, so then we got Batman versus Bane and Joker, Hulk #181 homage by Eric Negron. It's just a retail of $149.99. We had the 85. I lowered that to 65. I'll lower that to 60. Nothing? Nobody?
Take control of your city.
Is this thing on?
I don't know, man.
Hey, Stopper My Mom Will Shoot is actually one of our highest viewed videos over at Pop Culture Philosophers. That's
really?
Yeah. I don't know why, but it is.
I haven't seen that in years.
Dude, we did it last year, and it was a real fun rewatch. Like, for real. Estelle Getty's super funny in that one.
All right, so then next up, we got Wolverine and Deadpool cover sketch by Dan Nylander. This is a beauty, folks. Suggested retail $149.99. We had the 85. I lowered that to 65. I'll lower this to 60. All right, then we had Hunt for Wolverine with Wolverine cover sketch by Tony Scott. Suggested retail for $129.99. We had 75. I lowered that to 55. I'll lower it again to 50. Man,
okay.
All right, so Mike, Miguel has folded. So you got it, buddy.
Congratulations. Oh, my bad. Congratulations, mate. Congratulations, old chap.
And this is where people have decided to put on closed captioning.
Oh, dear God. All right. So then we got Feral #1 horror movie variant signed by Tony Fleeks. Suggested retail $39.99. We had it at $29.99. I lowered that to $20. I'll come down even lower. I'll lower it to $17.
Did you see that? Mike
What?
just said, I'll take it at 45.
Yeah, I got you, Mike. All right, Space Ghost #1, signed in silver by David Propose. Suggested retail $69.99. We had it at $30. I lowered it to $25. Wait, what's that question?
Is it too late to bid on the Batwoman? Yes, Mike won that.
Well, the Batman Bane Joker cover is already signed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Well,
was going to say.
do you want Tom Hardy and Christian Bale to sign it? Is that what you
Yeah, I
want?
was gonna say,
I'm
that
not
might
gonna
be a little
able to
harder
do that
to do.
one. So let's put the Batman versus Bane and Joker back up. Let's see. So let's see. Yeah. I'll tell you what. I believe it is signed because Eric Negron always signs his work. But if it is not, I will get it signed for you. If you would like, my friend. That's not a problem. But just let me know if you're interested, and we'll get it taken care of, my friend. All right. So where do we leave off? Let's see. All right. So then we've got Captain America White #1, signed by Jeff Lowe. Suggested retail of $89.99. We had it at $40. I lowered this all the way to $20. Thank you, Marcus. So it is signed there, Paige. Turning. And then we have X-Men Flight, Alpha Flight #1, X-Men #100 homage variant, signed by Dan Jurgens. Suggested retail $49.99. We had it at $25. I lowered it to $20. Lower that again to $15, guys. We are asleep out there tonight.
I'll be happy to sign a comic, sure.
Thanks,
a great way.
Paige.
That's a great way
Let me
for you
know.
to get a discount.
All right, then we got Flash #22, lenticular cover, CGC 9.8. Suggested retail of $100. We have it $75.
I got to tell you, the picture doesn't do that cover justice.
No,
I
it
just
doesn't.
took it off the rack, and that's a very cool cover.
Why don't you do your Vanna White and flash it?
Mike just claimed something. Did you see that?
Alpha
yeah.
Flight.
Alpha Light.
Gotcha, Mike.
I actually am going to go up and kind of Vanna White this thing, but I don't know because it's lenticular and slabbed. I don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's super cool too because it's like the homage to the old school cover.
Yeah.
And you got Jay Garrick in there, and yeah.
This is very cool.
Yeah, just turn sideways is the most effective way.
I'm going to see
front
if
of the
maybe,
camera.
and I don't. Yeah, see that there's too much glare. Maybe I'm trying to think of a good way to do this. Turn off all the lights. No, I'm just kidding. Unfortunately, there's just. Is there? Maybe if I. Oh, maybe that.
There you go.
There we go.
Now flip it sideways.
This is just a really, really, really cool book.
All right, we have it at 75. Man, all over that's 60.
Anything that's got Jay Garrick on the cover, I'm a happy camper.
All right, so then we got Spider-Boy #1, CGC 9.8. It's just a retail of 100. We had 75. All over that's 60.
Nobody bought this Jessica Corpus Deep.
Nope. And what I lowered it to, my God, 60.
That's a steal for 60. That thing's so
Yeah, I
sharp.
said it's steal for
Right?
$60. So if no one's going to pick it up, I'm going to have to.
Everybody's tapped out. They must have had a big weekend. All right, let's do Dynamite books. What the heck? All right, so
Becky wants the Spider Boy.
You got it, Becky Bate.
See,
Good
that
pick.
Becky always if there was an award for timing and like savvy pickups, I think Becky Bate would probably get that award.
She is
right, because she really just sort of picks her spot and boom, thank you, and kind of wanders off.
Yeah,
I think that's a nice grab, man. That's a real nice grab.
All right, so Army of Darkness Forever number 10 was out last week, and you can see, you can sort of see every one of the covers. They are all $4.99 cover price, but the Virgin and any of the special variants will be higher. If you're looking for one, fill out submission form, tell us which one, and we will tell you the price. Then
me personally, I like the Chris Burnham cover because it's kind of like a Green Goblin kind of tribute, and it just looks great.
All right, so then we got Vampirella, number 670. All right, cover price is $4.99 or higher. And if it's an incentive, ratio incentive, or a Virgin thought submission form, if that's the one you're interested in, and we will get you the price. All right, so then coming out this week, we got Gargoyles, light week for us. Triple B, one cover. Wait, what? F cover. Triple B. F cover for Vampirella. I'm going to put you down for an F cover. I will. Triple B.
The Gargoyles covers consistently are just crazy good.
Gotcha, Triple B. All right, so Gargoyles Quest number 3, cover A by Clayton Crane, and that is $4.99 cover price. And then we've got Gargoyles Quest number 3, cover B by Jay Lee, and that is also cover price of $4.99. See you, Corey.
See you, Corey.
Then we've got Gargoyles Quest number 3, cover C by Drew Moss. And we've got that for cover price at $4.99. Then we've got Gargoyles Quest number 3, cover E. It is the Clayton Crane Virgin. And we've got that for $50.
There's
Hey, Ron, I just texted you something.
Hey, Ron.
I just texted Ron something.
So you know what? Let's do.
There's a mystique here that nobody's picked up yet, which is boggling my mind.
I literally just texted Ron about this mystique, and I was like, "You should probably." People are kind of sleeping on this thing, and it's amazing.
Well, we got Ron in here. Let's do a quick recap of the cover sketches. All right. So, Ron, here you go.
There it is.
X-Men number 1 with Mystique cover sketch by Jessica Court. Suggested retail of $129.99. We had it at $75. I lowered to $65, and then I lowered it again to $60.
Such a great cover. Joseph Michael Linsner energy. Like, it's great.
Yeah. All right. So then we had. Sorry, Ron. Robbie's going to do his British voice right here. Sorry. Captain Britain's collage cover sketch by Joe Delviano and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $85. I lowered that to $50. Gotcha, Ron.
That's a great pickup, Ron. I'm going to check out this Captain Britain too.
All right.
The truth of the matter is that's the best I've
I
seen.
lowered it to $50.
I have to say, we're calling this Captain Britain. This is Union Jack.
This is Union Jack?
This is not Captain Britain.
No, it's old school Captain Britain, though, right? Like,
isn't old school Captain Britain have the thing around his neck? He's red, blonde hair out. He's got the staff.
Well, regardless, I lowered this to $45, from $85 to $45.
It's Captain Britain wearing the Union Jack. Who knows, mate? It's just what it is.
we will have no more. I don't care whether it's Captain Britain or Union Jack. We will have no further sketch covers ever on the show with Robbie on it.
I'm an original reader of the Invaders. That's Union Jack.
Every time you say the name, he's going to do the accent.
There was a Union Jack series I read in the 90s where he's like vampire hunting. John Cassidy did the covers. It was great stuff. It was great stuff, mate. It was wonderful.
Probably. Wait, your accent seems a little Australian. I have to agree with Marcus.
It's like Alexa. He can set it to different things. Australian 1 and 2, British 1 and 2. Dude, my
Alexa device does have a British voice. I don't know. Hello, Robbie.
I need there to be an Irish voice, like Friday for Tony Stark. I need that Irish voice in there.
All right. So next up, we got Hunt for Wolverine #1 with Wolverine cover sketch by Joe Delbiato and Mariano Nicieza. It's just at retail for $129.99. We had it at $75. I lowered it to $60, and then I lowered it again to $55.
Oi, mate, did you know that Hugh Jackman is Australian?
He has not come up in interviews.
I'm just a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
All right. So then we got Batman versus Bane and Joker, Hulk #181, homage by Eric Negron. Suggested retail of $149.99. We had it at $85. I lowered it to $65 and then lowered it again to $60. Probably the lowest I've ever had the sketch cover line.
It would be extremely painful for you.
Bane, Batman, and Joker are not British, my friend. I'm just saying.
Isn't Bane from like Santa Prisca or whatever?
Yeah, but not the Tom Hardy Bane, and that's the one in particular that I'm referencing.
All right. So then we got Wolverine and Deadpool cover sketch by Dan Neilinger. Sketch at retail $149.99. We had it at $85. I lowered it to $65 and lowered it again to $60.
This might be as close as you'll get to, the McFarlane zone, because I understand his original art is not cheap.
No.
All right. Then we've got Hunt for Wolverine #1 with Wolverine sketch cover sketch by Tony Scott.
I do like that. That's very cool cover.
Suggested retail of $129.99. We had it at $75. I lowered it to $55, then lowered it again to $50.
Eddie, if you want to really know what Bane sounds like, you need to watch Harley Quinn or Kite Man. To me, that's like the true Bane voice.
Dear God.
Kite Man is hysterical. I got to tell you right now, you're kind of looking at where the DCU is finding gains. Harley Quinn and Kite Man are funny. That's just like I sit down for a half hour and watch that show and I laugh.
All right, so for Ron and anybody else just joining us, the giveaway tonight is FF number 318. All right, and the hashtag is #EXP Deadpool, all lowercase.
Wait, is that she thing in the background? Yeah.
Yeah, Sharon Ventura.
You got it, Ron.
Nice.
He's claiming the cat in Britain.
Nice. Oh, thank God. Thank you, Ron. Now I don't have to do it in a Rex cap, and then Robbie won't do the voice anymore.
That's all right. I'm gonna find an Excalibur book for him to do real quick.
Stop. Just stop. I got you, Ron. Thank you for saving the day. And what I mean by that
series
is
called the
claiming the book that is causing Robbie I don't know, it's a trigger. I bring that book up and his British/Australian accent comes out. I don't know what it is because I'm not an expert.
We're all under the same. Whatever. I lost it. It's over.
Oh no,
it's over.
Sorry, we got to go to break.
He's got to talk like LeBeau and Hogan's Heroes.
My Batroc. I'm
Peter Dillon. Yikes!
Oh dear God. Oh, I guess everyone.
Do the rest of the voices of the show with the voice and soul. Yeah, Ron, those are some really cool pickups. I was actually surprised that, I'm glad Ron got it, but I'm surprised that Mystique was there as long as it was. That really surprised me.
Lorena, what's up?
That's the kind of cover that Jessica Court takes and knocks on Marvel's door.
Oh, good God, that was just painful. It was very painful. All right, so let's. We got what do we got? Incentives coming up next. Yeah, Mike, that's for sure.
We're 3 issues. I think I've only seen 3 episodes of Kite Man. Did we get a 4th episode this weekend? I'm not 100% sure where they are, but yeah. Pro tip: if you enjoy comics, go watch Harley Quinn and Kite Man. They're very, very. They're funny. I don't think they're taking themselves too seriously. They're just trying to have fun. They're not trying to like carve a place in the DC universe or anything. I think they're just like, well, if they'll let us do it, we'll do it.
Oh, well, do y'all get any brief thoughts on like James Gunn like unveiled the DC Studios logo, and it's the old Bullet logo? That's which I think is super cool. Like, and I've heard rumors that DC's going back to that too.
When they brought back the DC Bullet, people were.
I did not see it
because I follow like a ton of creators, and there's a ton of creators that were just like, hello, old friend. I think it was Jerry Ordway. He just has the DC Bullet up, and it says, "Hello, old friend."
I was stopped at the Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom. Everything stopped for me there.
There was a ton of stuff. Sean Gunn is doing a book for Dynamite.
Yep.
James Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn, is doing a book, and there's a couple people that are doing books for Dynamite that are sort of like Hollywood types.
All right, so since we were -1 minute on the last break, let's go +2, and we'll make up kind of like.
That's not how it works. You can't give and take. It doesn't work that way.
Robbie can do that really, really annoying accent. I can do this.
We'll be 2 shakes. We'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
Yeah. Robbie should do that voice until all the books are sold.
Oh God.
Yeah.
God help us. Mr. Towers, what's up? All right.
The beatings will continue until the morale improves.
So we're going to go to the break. We'll be back, and we've got some older incentives that we'll get to. If you didn't get them the first go around, Scarlet Witch, Shazam, and a bunch of Star Wars books. So hang out. We'll be right back.
So, the show is called The Geek Chat. And really, there's just a couple of geeks.
I'm Rich.
I'm Dez.
And we are your hosts for this weekly guide into comic bookery and all the geeky stuff that goes with it.
And that pretty much says it all. They talk about the latest movies and shows.
Okay, I'll be completely honest with you. Overall, D+ movie.
So the end. Did you know who that is?
That's She-Ra, yeah.
Yes.
The new #1 comics of the week.
We rep Samuel Jackson, and we rep Mace Windu.
I passed on this. I was like...
No regrets.
No regrets. I really wanted to like this book. I really did. Like, I really did.
And just chat with each other. And with you.
Oh, Daniel says, I dozed off with the first one. I have zero interest in the Joker Harley ship, not Harley herself. Enjoy, not for me. Yeah, this movie's going to be rough for me to sit through, I'll be honest.
The Geek Chat, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Just a couple of honest geeks.
Let's be honest. Come on.
And that is why people watch us, because we're honest.
Giving their honest opinions.
And the thing you always have to remember about the internet is everyone has an opinion, and they all suck.
Part of the experience.
What do you call the place on Spider-Man's wrists where the webs come out? His website. I hate myself for writing that joke, but you'd make me feel so much better if you just visited our website. We have links to our merch, new release lists, all the show info, and so much more. TheEXPLive.com. In a world where you hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, that'd be really great. Thanks.
Hey, we're back. All right. John will be back in a second, I assume. All right, so let's do the incentives. All right, so starting off with Scarlet Witch, Volume 3, Number 1, 125 ratio by Pepe Larraz. And we've got 4 of these in stock, and we've got it for $10.
Very sharp cover. Love it.
All
I think
right.
it's amazing.
Just doesn't matter now, right?
It doesn't now. Now that I know it irritates you slightly.
Oh, not just slightly, my friend. All right. So next up, we got Scarlet Witch, Volume 3, Number 1, 1:100 ratio by Ivan Tao. And we've got that for half ratio. We have 1 for $50.
That's a really cool cover. I love that composition.
Yeah, that is.
This is also a very cool book. Like I did not think like Scarlet Witch is a character I didn't think needed a solo book until I started reading it. And people, like my friends, are surprised I was reading it. And I'm like, this is really good. I guess they've sort of moved on to like a second series of her now. Like I guess it's Wolverine and Quicksilver now. And originally it was just, it was Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
They did a couple Scarlet Witches, then they did Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Now they're back to just Scarlet Witch again. But it's still Steve Orlando, so it's basically one book. It's kind of like Jed McKay's Black Cat, right? Where it's just they keep rebooting it and restarting it, but it's the same story.
You just made that. I was going to say, I said this is very much Jed McKay and Black Cat. They can break it up as often as they want to, but you know, and again, Black Cat is another book. I had a friend recommend to me, and I'm like, Black Cat, really? Come on, man. And he's like, just go ahead. And I have Marvel Unlimited, so he's like, what does it hurt? And I start reading it, and I'm like, not only do I have to finish this, but I have to catch up.
Jed McKay's doing some solid stuff. He also does the Moon Knight book, right? The Moon Knight book has been really good. I don't know if you've been checking that one out, but I would recommend that one too. It's Moon Knight. I put up my fists and my dukes. I'm going to fight you, a Moon Knight. Look at my cape.
Is there like is there one of his personalities is like a character from Snatch?
Joints of pain. All right. So Scarlet Witch, Volume 3, Number 7, 1:10 ratio by Sarah Pichelli. And we've got this at cover price. I have 3 at cover price.
Could you imagine if Robbie Gillian Anderson does? And he just busts out his Manchester accent. Oh, you didn't know?
God, no.
You believe that Alabama thing? No, don't be
From
stupid.
Manchester. Or like fish and chips.
No, you know what? The voice of Robbie is going to be dubbed by Carl Urban from now on. That's what doing the butcher voice.
Gotcha, buddy. All right, so you got the 1:100. Gotcha, Mike.
Eddie, it's not just you. All my accents get worse the longer I do them.
Well, no, you're missing that the show sponsored by Tito's Shots.
All right. So next up we have Becky. Which one? Number 1 or number 7?
Whichever one she bought, that's the one you guys should have bought. I'll tell you that right.
All right, so we give Becky a second to let us know.
Just give them both to her. What difference does it make?
The 1 in 10.
The one on the screen right now.
Gotcha, Becky.
I was going to say it's the one on the screen right now.
Yeah, the new character, Hexfinder, right? Is that her name?
Yes. I was trying to think, is it Hexfinder? I was going to say that, and then that didn't seem quite right, but I'll trust Robbie that.
All right, so then we got Shazam, Volume 5, Number 1, 1:25 ratio by Evan Doc Shaner. We've got 4 of these at $10.
That guy doesn't know anything about Silver Age art.
All right, so TJ was happy about the Bullet logo. I wish they'd just make the damn movie already. All right.
It's less than a year away now, Rex. Less than a year away, so it's getting closer.
Sure.
And I think they've wrapped production, so they have made the movie. They just gotta like polish it. So,
kind of joking about Doc Shaner, this is probably the best this version of the character has looked since Jerry Ordway did the Power of Shazam.
All right, so then next we got Shazam Volume 5, Number 1, 150 ratio by Ariel Colon. We have 2 of these available at $20.
I don't know if anybody has been reading this book, but there's this like ongoing subplot with these like bureaucratic T-Rex aliens, and it cracks me up in this book. It's so funny.
Who's doing this book?
It was Mark Waid and Dan Mora, but now it's I think it's Josie Campbell right now with Manuel Lupacino, I think, but I could be wrong.
All right, so
I'm going to have to check some of the Mark Waid stuff out. Mark Waid hasn't done much that I haven't read at some point. Like, he's one of those authors that he could write a character I can't even pronounce and I'd figure it out.
Yeah, and he's pretty much a main architect right now over at DC, so.
Yeah.
All right, so next up we have Sins of Sinister, number 1, 125 ratio by Jeff Shaw. We have quantities of this one at $8.
I got nothing. I was just going to do the British accent again. I decided not to.
No, should that be a Norse accent? Is that Odin? Who's on the cover?
Let me move on.
He's got 2 eyes. It can't be Odin, right? He's got 2 eyes.
One of the things I was super excited about, like a more low-key announcement from Comic-Con, was New Gods.
Oh, Rom V on New Gods with Evan Cagle. That's going to be amazing, yo.
I'm an absolute sucker for like Jack Kirby, Vikings in space, Egyptians in space, Mayans in space. It's a very cool idea. I read an article from like Comics Journal like 30, 40 years ago where he did a thing and Kirby talked about his beliefs a little bit and how he'd sort of been brought up, typical like New York Jewish American type upbringing or whatever. And as he got older, he really sort of got fascinated by alternate belief systems. The biggest one being Eric von Daniken and Chariots of the Gods. And that sort of prompted a lot of his Inhumans, Eternals, New Gods. He did other stuff too, like Dynamite republished some of his stuff of the Kirbyverse. And it's just you could see the guy really kind of buys into it, so it makes me buy into it.
Yeah, me too.
And he made a comment which sold me. He said he feels like if he was going to put all this stuff together, now this is before all the shared universe stuff or whatever, he said he always felt that where like the New Gods would be introduced they would be discovered by the challengers of the unknown. And that just sort of, those two things just connected in my head, and that was it. Because if you ever read, especially, you read the original Challenges of the Unknown stuff that he did, that's exactly the kind of thing they would find under the sea or in like the Andes somewhere. They would absolutely find something that would lead them to the New Gods.
Did you just say under the sea? Under the sea.
Here comes new accent. All right, so next up we got Sins
Everything's
of Sinister.
better down where it's wetter.
Number 1, 150 ratio by Marco Cicchetto. And we've got these for $20.
TJ James, I hope you're wrong. I certainly wouldn't bet against you. I mean, DC has not had the best track record with this kind of stuff. I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that the New Gods will. I get nervous with certain properties when people say it's my take on it. Hold on a second. There's your take on it, and then there's fundamentally changing what something is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I know how ROM works, right? So ROM's not going to agree to this without a set time. Like he's got a 10-issue story. Maybe he's got a 12-issue story. But it's also baked into the concept of DC All In, where they're launching the absolute DC universe, which is kind of like an ultimate universe, but for DC, right? But it's going to be part of the multiverse, and it's all tied in, and they're building up to another Darkseid event. So ROM is very much plugged in to what's going on. So they are going to allow this New Gods book to do exactly what they're setting out to do, which is building up into something that's going to bring everything
And
together.
the truth is, if we get 10 good issues, 12 issues, like whatever if I'd be happy with that. I understand we don't live in a world where books get 50, 60, 70 issues. So
Yeah, dude, Kirby didn't even get that back in the day, right? New Gods got canceled. It only went like, what, 12 issues or something like that, so.
Everybody knows I'm a Kirby freak, and I'm rereading for like the 19th time right now, Commanding. And a buddy of mine said, you know what? I think I'm going to read it too. Open his Kindle, whatever. Boop, boop, boop. But
Commandy's great, dude.
he couldn't believe how few issues there were. He's like, this is it? I said, yeah, there's a few other Commandy things, but Kirby didn't do those. This is all the Commandy Kirby did.
That's like his longest DC run, though, right? Because he did go over 40, I think, on Commandy.
It was, and I kind of pointed that out. I'm like, this isn't short. I said, yeah, if you're thinking it should be 100 issues of Fantastic Four, no, that or whatever, that's not going to happen. But,
all right. Next up, we got Sins of Sinister Dominion, number 1/125 ratio by Pepe Larraz. And we've got this for $10. All right.
Hey, Phil.
All right. So, hey, Phil. Next up, we got Spider-Boy, Volume 2, number 1/150 ratio by David Ajah. And we've got these for $20.
This is the right cover artist, the right type of cover. This is what they're trying to do. They don't want to put Spider-Boy on the front lines of any multiverse of madness or any other sort of, they want him to be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Boy. And I think the story, the art, I think they're kind of consistent there. And I think that's why people are enjoying that book.
All right. So then we got Spider-Boy, number 1/100 ratio by Humberto Ramos. And we've got this one for $60. All right. Then we've got Spider-Man Volume 4, number 7, 1/100, Alex Ross, first appearance of Spider-Boy. And we've got this for $80.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, I mentioned this earlier. Michael Cho announced that he designed the costume for Spider-Girl, and he's doing like a variant cover for her debut issue, which is Spider-Boy number 12. So if you're kind of into Spider-Boy, you're getting a Michael Cho cover, which, for me, that's always a good day.
Yeah.
All right. Then we got Star Wars Volume 3, number 34, second print, 1/25 ratio by Phil Noto. And we've got these for $20.
How much was that Dr. Octopus cover? Because that cover was awesome.
That was $80.
Not bad for 1/100 and the first appearance of Spider-Boy. That's pretty sharp.
Yeah.
All right. Then we've got Star Wars Volume 3, number 36, 1/25 ratio by Lee Garbett. And we've got that for $10.
TJ James, I hope you're wrong. I also had that same impression, so I hope I'm wrong. When I read the description of the absolute stuff, it very much sounded like Earth One to me.
It does feel like that, but the thing is, there's going to be more of a promotional push on this because they're single issues, and the Earth One stuff was OGNs, and not a lot of people like to grab like original graphic novels. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I mean, it's true.
This is already inherently baked into the idea that this is part of the multiverse. There will be a crossover at some point. And I mean, if you're a hardcore DC fan, you're okay with that, right? That's what they do. Crisis events, crossovers, stuff like that, right?
It's like the periodic crisis, and then, the crisis dies away. Here comes Darkseid again. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. You telling me Nick Dragata is going to be drawing a Batman book and that Hayden Sherman is going to be doing a Wonder Woman book? Sign me up. That sounds amazing.
I have no complaints there at all. I really don't. The reason I was hoping the absolute books are not like the Earth One books is I just want to see something new. I read the Earth One stuff. I thought most of it was good. I thought Earth One Green Lantern was outstanding.
I really like the Batman one. That's probably my favorite version of Alfred we've ever gotten is from the Batman Earth One. The Gary Frank, Jeff Johns stuff. Oh, their Alfred was amazing.
All right. So next up, we got Star Wars Dark Droids number 1/150 ratio by Jim Chung. And we've got that for $20. All right, then next up we've got Star Wars Dark Droids #1 1/100
Wow,
ratio
that's a
by
very
Rachel
cool
Stott.
cover.
And we've got this one for 40.
Star Wars really needs their own Deadpool and Wolverine right now.
That's for sure. And then we've got Star Wars Dark Droids D Squad #1 1/50 ratio by Mike McCone. And we've got that for 20. Then we've got Star Wars Darth Vader Black, White, and Red #1 125. A ratio by Care Andrews. And we've got that for 20.
This is a fantastic cover. This is so sharp, so striking.
All right. And then
I wish we had this signed in red.
Then we've got Star Wars The High Republic, The Blade #1 125 by David Baldion. And we've got this for 10.
Speaking of that, check this out. There's my Blade sword. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but that's my Blade
Nice.
sword. Bueller gave this to me. Our buddy Travis. How cool is
Very
it?
cool.
Very
If we're
nice.
going to bring replica swords, next week I'll have to try to remember to bring my ring raid sword.
Yeah.
So it's funny you should mention Travis. Congrats to Travis, who is now officially a grandfather.
Yeah. Grandpa
last week.
Bueller, man.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. All right.
We'll put him on the Harvey books moving forward, I guess, sir.
Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 2 #2 125 by Casper Wingard. And we've got these for 10. Then
That cover encapsulates everything the Mandalorian is.
all right,
It really
so
does.
then we got Star Wars Return of the Jedi Empire #1 125 by Lionel Francis Yu. And we've got these for 10. Then we've got Star Wars Return of the Jedi Jabba's Palace #1 125 ratio by Alex Malev. And we've got that for 20.
We've talked about this one before. That is such a striking cover.
Yeah.
There's a Boba Fett fan in your life, and Christmas is going to be here before you know it. This is your chance. Snatch it up.
I talked to Edward about this today. Summer's over. He's already waiting for fall.
All right, then we got Star Wars Return of the Jedi Jabba's Palace #1 1/100 ratio by Ryan Brown. And we have that for 60.
That cover looks like a piece of art Ron has in his house. That Boba Fett cover.
All right, so then we have Star Wars Return of the Jedi Max Rebo #1 1/100 by Ryan Brown. And we've got that for 60. Then we've got Star Wars Santa Staros #1 125 ratio by Arada Souza. And we've got that for 10. Then we've got Star Wars Yoda #2 125 ratio by Bengal. And we've got it for $10.
It's a very cool cover. I like that. That's a very much a Yoda cover, but that's a very cool cover. I like that.
Just
All right,
Yoda chilling out, listening to some Spotify, right? That's what's going
I mean,
on.
literally, I think that's Yoda.
All
Right?
right.
And to me, that's Yoda. That's why I'm like, Yoda's a little too laid back
Isn't he
with the
playing-
acolyte.
Isn't he playing an instrument?
It looks like he's playing a flute or something, or
All right.
a little keyboard.
So last two, Superboy, The Man of Tomorrow #1 125 ratio by Baltimore Rivas. And we have that for 10. And then finally, Spider-Boy, The Man of Tomorrow #1 150 ratio by David Delasky. And we have that for 20.
Do you guys think it'd be okay if I bought a Superboy leather jacket from the 90s? Wouldn't that be cool? I think I could rock that. What do y'all think?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is a character that sort of has his place in time, right? When you first, you go back and you read it today, and you're like, "Oh man, this is real Bart Simpson." They really
He came out when I was 12 years old, so I was the target audience. I've always thought Superboy was super cool.
When they had the Force Superman, everybody had a favorite, right?
Yeah.
Everybody sort of had, they like this. Younger fans kind of preferred him. I was a big fan of the Eradicator. I really
the
like
Eradicator's great.
I love the massive cape. Like if any superhero could pull off a cape that size, I know
giant cape, and he had those like safety goggles on or
Yeah,
whatever,
the
right?
safety
I
goggles
loved
on.
it, man.
And I'm thinking
I
to
loved
myself,
it.
you have to have Superman's level of power to not get laughed at wearing those goggles they give you when you leave the doctor after your eye test.
I remember going to the barber shop after that Superboy stuff started coming out, and I got this weird like fade at the time, right?
nice.
And I'm like super young, and I was begging my mom to take me to get my ear pierced, and she refused.
All right, so this is one last chance. The hashtag is EXP Deadpool. Put it in the chat, and in a minute, we're gonna go ahead and do the drawing, see who wins.
Steve and Dana, it's funny you said that because I remember a comment to that effect by, I'm going to say, I think maybe it was Carl Kessler or Tom Grummett. Somebody said like the look and energy for the Superboy, one of the things they originally threw out there was Vanilla Ice. They kind of changed it a little bit, but the hair, the jacket, the attitude. So that's very
I got my
much
first appearance of Superboy signed by Carl and Tom. And when I met them, all I wanted to do was talk to them about Superboy. And they were like, why do you love Superboy so much? I was like, I was 12. And they're like,
I get it.
We made that book for you.
So anybody watching on the rewind, if there's anything you want, go ahead and fill out the submission form. If it is still available, we will honor the price that you see tonight. All right, just to let everyone know.
Maybe. Depends what kind of mood we're in.
So, all right. So everybody, I assume, has had time to put the hashtag in. And what's the movie of the night, Robbie, by the way?
Well, tonight we're ending Action Fest 2024 with a trilogy. Tonight we're talking about the Dark Knight trilogy from Christopher Nolan. One of the reasons why I've been doing my Bane voice all night long. So check us out. We're going to be talking about Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, and you know what, Jay, I don't even know what the series does anymore because they got rid of the...
Yeah, there's a new show now that they do.
After Robbie's show. So what do we got coming up tonight, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely. So after you're done watching PCP Movie Night with Robbie and the awesome crew over there, always love watching it. At 11 Eastern, 10 Central, we're going to have Best Coast Comics with Blonjo's Nerd and Bigby McFly. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be talking about tonight, but I think it might be SDCC related.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like a lot of the shows today that like pop up on my feed are like, the one even said obligatory post SDCC show. And it was basically them just talking about, it's like a guy and his wife, and they're just talking about, like spending their mortgage payment at Comic-Con. And I'm like, that's funny.
All right. So, Jay, you want to spin that wheel?
Good luck, everybody.
All right, here we go. See who the winner is.
Boop, 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 boop. We really need that. Ta-da! Hey. Marcus. Congratulations, Marcus.
Congrats, Marcus. You are the winner. And the shocker was, were you here when Matt Carper won?
I was here when Matt Carper won, and I bet Matt Carper won't believe he won until the stuff arrives.
Yeah, right.
Congratulations, Marcus.
Yeah, you got it, Marcus. So we'll be back Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for the abbreviated version of the show. And of course, Nick will be back obviously on Friday for original art. And of course, Robbie's got his Batman trilogy tonight. So be sure to tune into that.
And I would tell you, go to one of Dynamite's social media feeds.
Mm-hmm.
And actually read all, because we didn't touch, things will crop up or whatever. But if you want to see, Nick pointed out there's 14 announcements. I didn't realize it was quite that much, but who would know better than him making the announcements? It is very much like when Barry Horowitz beat Skip Candido. You probably want to go to Dynamite at some point and see some of the announcements we kind of glossed over, whatever. Some of the stuff is very, very cool. Really sort of, like there were a few highlight things like, Gail Simone's doing James Bond. That's pretty big. Chitara is pretty big. But there's some other stuff that's going to get done that I was super excited about. I mean, when you kind of combine what we're doing now with what we're also going to be doing, you're going to have a lot of work to do. Man, that's going to suck. Not me, though. I'll just be reading.
You'll just wander in whenever.
I'll just wander. The show will have to go to 3 hours.
So be sure to tune into Robbie's PCP movie night. Again, hey, thank you, Becky.
Thank you, Becky.
For being part of the show.
Yeah, those were great
Spending
pickups,
your Monday
man.
night evening with us. All right, we appreciate you. Peace, and we'll see you
We
Wednesday.
appreciate almost everybody in the chat. Robbie, have a good night. Thank you, Jay.
We know you probably get a lot of emails, but could you please make sure to sign up for our mailing list? We don't send a lot of emails, and we try not to bother you. We just want to give you the best information about all the cool stuff that's going on around here. Sign up on our website, theexplive.com.